So although there's not a lot of remains left in the castle besides the walls, it's still a very important cultural monument in Albanian history. But there's another thing about this village that I particularly like, and just as elusive as the missing castle. It's a teche, which is a Bektashi mystic monastery. The Bektashis began in Anatolia in the 1300s, and they moved and expanded with the Ottoman Empire due to their pastoral obligations to the Janissary Corps, the elite fighting force of the Ottomans. The Bektashis were like their army chaplains, and the two were basically one, Bektashis and Janissaries. This village, Kanina, is possibly the first place in Albania that had a teche. There's some other very old places around Albania as well, including Kruja and Fushkruja. But it looks like from all the evidence that the first one actually was here. Kocha Sinan Pasha in the 1500s was Grand Vizier, which is the Prime Minister of the Ottoman Empire 5 times. He was an Albanian and he came from this area. It's said that he possibly invited the Bektashi here to start their teche. There's no definitive proof of that. There's also the reasoning that Sinan Pasha may have been Mirliva Dikojin, who invited them here. No one is entirely sure who the Sinan Pasha was, but Evliya Çelebi, a very famous Ottoman traveller, historian and author, arrived in this village in 1670, and there was a teche here when he arrived. And because they give women an equal standing and women can worship with the men, it's sometimes seen as immoral that those two can mix. Now, they were accused of this immorality in the early 1600s in a place very close to Andrianopolis, the capital of the Ottomans. Their teche there was demolished, and it's very unlikely that all of those babas, they're the ministers, would have left and retired. And it seems that they were probably invited here by Mir Levi Dukajin, who also called himself the Sinan Pasha. They most likely arrived here 20 or 30 years just prior to Evliya Çelebi's arrival. Now, no one knows exactly where this teche was, but it was most likely, we knew that it was on the south side of this fortress, and it was most likely built where the new teche is. At the new teche, there's a grave, a very important grave. Let's go have a look. Because they were persecuted so heavily in other parts of the Ottoman Empire, they moved here, and this is very much their headquarters today. But during that whole national awakening, the Bektashis collected books, moved books, allowed people to read books, all written in the Albanian language, which was prohibited. So they were very important in the educational process of the Albanians. They also have a great tolerance to all other religions. And the Albanian people, their national character is very open and forgiving and tolerant of other faiths. So the marriage of the Bektashis and the Albanians is pretty much a given. And they've really found their home here. So this is the site of the new teche, which is most likely built over the top of the old teche. Most likely the first teche in Albania. It's very plain, very simple, very understated, and not pretentious. Very Bektashi. Ismail Kemal Bey Vlora, the founding father of Albania, was buried in this village, but later removed and reburied down in Vlora. But also, another signatory of the Declaration of Independence was Ekrem Bey Vlora. And he is buried here on this wonderful hilltop village. Ekrem Bey Vlora died in 1964 in Vienna and wasn't removed from there and brought back to his homeland until 2014. And today he rests in his homeland in this beautiful hilltop village of Kanina. So if you happen to be vacationing or visiting Vlora, take a little time out of your day, drive the 3 or 4 kilometres up into the hills behind Vlora and enjoy a cool afternoon in Kanina, wandering the castle, having a look at Ekrem Bey's tomb and the Bektashi Teke.